The day was September 21st of the year 2021 when Bladesworn first seen the light of the day, and from that point onward it couldn't be more apparent that devs either have little to no idea what to do with Warrior, or that their goal is so far from the current thing that one barely even resembles the other. Bladesworn shipped with plethora of glaring issues, from lush forest that made mindless spamfest an optimal strategy, through underwhelming utilities, and finally with unforgivable power differences between traits and the painful trade-off in form of losing second weapon set. Bladesworn's relative success can be only attributed to one singular thing. Its synergy. Bladesworn's kit synergizes well within itself, or at least parts that do it well. On top of which Dragon Trigger, even with its shortcomings, is one of few ways to see 6-digit damage feedback on your screen, and that delicacy has its connoisseurs. But that's not what matters. What matters is that in most recent patch, nearly a year after release, Bladesworn was soft reworked. Skills 1, 2, 3 from Gunsaber received following changes. Auto Chain and Blooming Fire are two-part melee range hybrid attacks that both slash forward, dealing damage in a cone in front of you, and send out a projectile to hit whatever you are targeting up to 900 units away. Cluster charge of Blooming Fire is tied to the projectile, not the slash. You absolutely can harass opponents in the distance while simultaneously slashing what's in front of you, and that's a convenience not to be ignored. Artillery Slash was turned into ammo dump skill similar to Dragon's Roar, and it both deals more damage and applies harder CC the more ammo it dumps at once. These changes noticeably increased Bladesworn damage output and gave him innate advantage over his counterparts, that is, range advantage. It is safe to say that ain't devs put a gun in Gunsworn like the kinky Americans they are. With that changes online, there is a new reason to play Bladesworn, and that is his new old playstyle of ranged heavy half support damage dealer. However, Bladesworn came bearing the mark of the scuffed, and now it is unfortunately the time to pay the price. Bladesworn's perhaps most noticeable issue is that Dragon Trigger needs to be charged, and while charging, Warrior must remain stationary, and therefore a sitting duck. Often in combat you either get bested, blinded, dazed or stunned, or feared or immobilized before you even have a chance to charge your ultimate move. Not to mention it can be blocked or dodged often on reaction. Ain't tried to circumvent the vacuum cleaner worthy amount of suck attributed to this ability by giving you Source of Ages in form of Trigger Guard and one stack of stability, not to be instantly clowned by a stray dazing arrow from nowhere, and then stability was removed. Because it, as a part of a class mechanic, is too powerful, but apparently not as a part of a spam CC until voices go silent higher bloody bollock. Anyway, currently you need to be really careful not to get CC'd out of your whip stance when whip stancing anywhere near a teamfight. Moreover, if you even manage to bloody charge your power of God and anime, it can still just disagree with your intent, because Dragon/Reach is extremely reliable, completely flawless ability that will never randomly malfunction, you're imagining it. Just remember to be on a completely flat urban road when you are using it against your enemies. Fierce as Fire only finds its use in the raid environment, and Unshakable Mountain doesn't find one at all. After all, why would you play it over the lush forest? Maybe if it gave less barrier but on every ammo spent, or maybe if it gave its benefits also to allies, it could find some use in conjunction with Pistol on tanky or support builds. Speaking of the devil, Pistol's 5, the Dragon's Roar, is egregiously hard to land on anything faster than a statue. Its damage is also underwhelming. Both could be increased by roughly 20%. Final two complaints are: Unyielding Dragon is mandatory. Blindness and Block are two biggest after dodge enemies of massive well-telegraphed attacks, and I have no idea why Dragon Slashes aren't unblockable by default. Stun and unblindability are big enough factors to be part of a strong trait, and this way, maybe Bladesworn wouldn't have two completely unusable Grandmaster traits to his name. Last but not least, Bladesworn's utilities are underwhelming. Flow Stabilizer is used only in raids to maximize flow income and fury uptime. Overcharged Cartridges is the only crowd control skill in the game that you need to cast twice to hit it once. Electric Fence is only justifiable because Warrior has no other utility option that grants projectile denial. Dragon Spike Mine is just a dodge with a stun break. Nothing to take over Endure Pain or shake it off. And Tactical Reload could be cool in combination with Daring Dragon if Unyielding Dragon wasn't completely necessary for a class mechanic to bloody function. In conclusion, Bladesworn is close to greatness but not there yet, and I like to see Bladesworn reach the much desired greatness. His shortcomings are few but outstanding. ANET should give him some more attention in upcoming months. Work the iron while it's still hot kind of deal. With all that said, I'll be on your walls. Crabface out.